For some reason, I remember Gorou being on Shilinen's banner, so I was gonna make a joke about how disrespectful it was to free him from Itto, then put him with the unit that power crept him, but apparently Hoyo doesn't even respect him enough to do that. There's a fish in there, I never realized that. Hello, I'm gonna get it out of the way here. Gorou was never really a great unit. To quickly run over how he works, his skill gives various buffs based on how many Geo characters are in your team. 1 will grant you this flat defense bonus, and because he's Geo, you'll always get that. 2 gives you an interruption resist, and 3 gives you a Geo damage bonus. It's always 15%. Using his skill, we'll place this field on the ground, and his burst will summon the same field, but it'll follow your character around. His last 2 buffs are both full party. 25% defense when he uses his burst, and a Geo crit damage buff also based on how many Geo characters are in your team. And all these buffs are fine enough. The issue is that basically no one can make use of them, and he requires a specific team comp to even let them happen. We have enough solid Geo units that scale with these stats that he still actually is pretty good in Mono Geo, but that's the only place that he ever worked, and the only real carry that you can put in Mono Geo is Itto. You could technically do stuff with Noelle, but Noelle is way better in Farina teams. I wouldn't recommend it. No other unit could provide Itto with the buffs that Gorou could, and nobody else could make use of Gorou's buffs as much as Itto could. And this is what it was for many years. It was just Gorou and Itto stapled together at the hip. So when the inevitable happened and we got a support that could buff Itto without restricting his teams, Gorou got kinda left behind. This is what Itto's best team looks like nowadays. Shilinen provided enough to help Itto break away from Gorou and let him use better supports. And this isn't to say that Mono Geo is bad now. I still enjoy using it. It's good enough to clear. But now that Itto's teams have opened up a bit, it's kinda hard to say that Gorou wasn't holding him back. This leaves Gorou in a bit of a weird place. He's a dedicated support for a carry who isn't even the best support with that carry anymore. So I started looking at him and I thought, well, since he isn't the best at supporting Itto anymore, what other things can he do? Ironically, it was with Shilinen's help that I came to this conclusion. After Citlali got released, people started putting Shilinen and Citlali on the same teams and pretty quickly realized that while both their best artifacts are Scroll of Cinder City, Scroll can't stack, so we're gonna have to put one of them on Scroll and one of them on a different set. This pushed people towards Archaic Petra. Don't look at the pieces, they're not leveled up. Before Shilinen, this set didn't see a lot of use, mostly because of how clunky it is to use. It gives a 35% damage bonus to whatever element that you've crystallized, very similar to how Scroll would work on her. But instead of just triggering the reaction, it requires that you pick up the crystal. And that was annoying enough that even though this set is a decent buffing set, people just didn't care to do it, me included. Shilinen's kit makes that a little bit easier because you can often create the crystallize with your initial hit, but then pick it up as you're doing your normals. So after 4 years of clunkiness, Archaic Petra finally found a use, which brings us back to Gorou. Gorou is actually even easier to use the set with than Shilinen is. His burst sucks in nearby crystallized particles. You don't even have to walk over there yourself. From the #1 hater of EM Shielder Kachina, I bring you EM Shielder Gorou. I mean, his EM's still pretty low because I have not had the time or experience to level up my artifacts. I left most of the testing to do in this actual video, but the idea here, we're seeing if it's gonna work. Combine his ability to create and refresh crystallized shields with the straight up defense buffs in his kit. Between those two, I think Gorou is actually going to be a pretty decent defensive option who's also able to provide a little bit of offense through Petra. He's still not going to be a great supportive unit, but I think this way of building him makes him viable in a lot more teams. As for the gear I'm using in this video, pretty simple. Weapon is Fav, only use Fav. Gorou's skill actually generates the same amount of energy as a Fav proc. So while you could go Sackbow, you'll end up having to dedicate more time to Gorou and you'll get a lower ER substat. I'm recording this after the fact, that's why my artifacts have a few more levels on them. I ended up landing on ER Sands, EM Goblet, and Crit Rate Circlet. EM increases the crystallized shield strength, ER helps him get his burst, crit rate is for the fav. Those are also the only 3 substats that you really want to be looking for. You could go for defense to increase healing if you have his C4, but that's really not a lot, and basically the same thing can be said about his personal damage. It does scale off of defense, but we're not looking for that. And an upside to using Gorou in this context is that he won't rely on constellations at all. C2 will buff the duration of his burst from 9 to 12 seconds, but given that we're not using his buffs, we're only using it to collect crystals and refresh shields, I imagine you can go without this. And for the first few teams, we're actually going to keep Shilonen here. Even though she power crept Gorou, they're pretty good together when you use him like this. The biggest issue I've faced is energy. I mean, Gorou still has an 80 cost burst. It doesn't feel like it in Mono Geo teams because you have 3 Geo batteries with you. This may be an issue with my artifacts all being level 8, but it can be pretty hard to get solo Geo. Shilonen does 2 main things. She helps a lot with his energy needs, and she provides Geo resonance. Simply put, Geo resonance is a bit crazy. Where is you? Let's fight you. I'm starting with this structure because I think it's actually gonna be way better than using Gorou by himself. You do kind of have to watch out what's going on because the idea, it's not necessary, is to create the crystal with Shilonen and then pick it up with Gorou. He can create his own crystals, so it's not the biggest thing in the world. This is ridiculous. I mean, I could definitely get better numbers out of Kazuha, but Gorou didn't get it. Perfect. Oh, fuck. That was just me messing up the rotation, but I can probably still check that I have 75% hydro damage bonus on Shilonen. So I did get that buff, and I did kill this guy in 2 Neuvillette beams. Jesus. Let's try a tankier boss. I'm gonna start calling him Archaic Gorou. I think that's a good name for him. Please don't touch it. Whatever. There we go. Die! This is like a Neuvillette team I'm actually kind of having fun with just because Gorou's here. I think that's so silly. I think now is the time for Ironbeard is no, Ironbeard's the other one. What's this one called? Bronze Lock. Whatever, same thing. It doesn't matter. Got smacked in the head, and because I had my Gorou crystallized shield, it broke, but it stopped me from getting stunned. I didn't have to dodge that because I had my shield. I don't have to dodge this either. Gorou's burst is technically not necessary for this playstyle. It's the thing that creates multiple crystallizes and pulls them towards you, but you only need a skill to activate the effects of Petra. This is so silly. I'm gonna stop messing around with Neuvillette. Now I'm gonna do the crazy thing, the me thing. This one might be a little more difficult. We don't have anyone applying off-field pyro, so once Shilonen creates the crystallize, I think I am gonna have to avoid it so Gorou can pick it up. Did I already pick it up? I think I did. I accidentally skilled too early. I might have been able to drop him there. I'm gonna one rotate this guy if my life depends on it. Gosh, so close. Yeah, Gorou has some serious ER issues. I need to just go refresh. All right, fine. I won't do it. One more. I don't care that I
Now disappear.
Please. Thank the Lord. Thank the Lord I did it. It's 2 days later. My artifacts are better built, and I think I have an ear infection. We'll do a hyper carry Raiden team.
Let's do it.
My priority was the sands. I wanted to get that up to level 20. I think I've also, I've dumped a few levels into the goblet so his shield will be a little stronger. Everything else is mostly the same. I think I leveled up my crit circlet a little bit, and that's probably gonna be next. Energy recharge certainly has been the biggest issue because I had like a little over 200 energy recharge, and even in double Geo, that wasn't always enough. So for that reason, I think I prefer this double Geo comp. It also has the side effect of, it's not really necessary at all, but it activates his interruption resistance buff and the healing from C4. Both of those are pretty negligible, but it doesn't hurt to have either. Also, please don't look at my Mora. I've been stretched very thin. I've been trying to build new characters while also getting this concept up and running. You know, let's just go back to the Dorito. The Dorito is nice. The Dorito stands still for us. Okay, what is my order?
Shine down. Bring it. Charge. Rally. Quiver. Inazuma shines eternally.
I missed the crit. My Raiden is C0, so this isn't gonna be the best showcase or anything. I could do some stuff with Sarah, like, I don't know.
Storm the front. Now you shall perish.
Yeah, okay. Maybe I can one rotate with this. Nope. Got close.
Illusion shatter.
That one went worse. I don't think I'm gonna be able to one rotate this guy, but it's fun to try. What if I cheat a little bit? And I build up a tiny bit of resolve by bursting with Shilonen right now.
No turning back.
Please, oh. If I was a tiny bit faster. I don't think I'm gonna be able to one rotate this guy, but the fact that I can get close with Gorou in my team is kind of crazy. This guy's super squishy. I don't think I'm gonna have a problem with him. We're fine.
All right. Raiden Hyper. Everyone on me. Strike. Glory to the shogun. Inazuma shines eternal.
That was easy. Now I'm gonna try out some Mono Geo stuff just to see if my energy requirements are still met.
Witness the power of Gorou. Gotcha. Inside.
Ah,
Forward charge. Everyone on.
my Tartag rotation was too slow, and now I don't have a skill. Whatever, he's not contributing that much anyways. Jesus. Okay, Mr. No Energy over here. Oh my god. I'm gonna try to rotate as normal. I don't think he's gonna... actually... we do a normal, like, 2 rotations. I guess I'll just do it against the Jade Plume, and I'll try not to extend my Tartag rotation for so long. But these energy requirements are awful. Oh, okay, yep, it's just over. Technically, you don't need to burst in this team, but I think the burst automatically collecting crystallizes is what makes Gorou compelling for this role. Compelling, as if he isn't just a worse version of Zhongli. Yeah, alright, he just doesn't work. I think you would need some seriously crazy batterying or energy substat rolls. Even so, I'm rocking 230 and it's not enough. Oh yeah, I wanted to test this out. This is the one solo Geo team that I want to try out, because Raiden has her whole energy refund thing. This might still work.
Strike. Storm the front.
I messed up my... Where are you?
Inazuma
How did I lose him? Alright, yeah, this works. Oh, aww. Already dead. Why do I have that much energy after I wasted my burst and didn't hit anything? For my final look at Archaic Petra Gorou, I'm gonna take a look at a team that actually triggers reactions. Or maybe, I guess this does work. Petra Gorou can't buff Navia in this team because, as far as I know, there's no way to create Geo Crystallizes yourself. I think the only things that can make Geo Crystallizes are the Geo Bishop enemies. Do your thing, man. They have this one attack, oh, here it is, where they bury underground and they create these. And these ones No, they don't even count. They don't activate the set bonus. I guess because it specifies it has to be an elemental shard created through a crystallize reaction. I thought that was more a tutorializing thing, so you players wouldn't be confused as to how to use this set. But I guess it is a limitation. If you find a crystallized shard on the ground that wasn't created through an elemental reaction, it doesn't work. So as far as I know, there's no way to buff Geo damage with this set, but Gorou, he's not useless to Navia in this team. As mentioned before, the Geo resonance is really good and he does activate that. He also creates extra crystallizes for her to shoot. I realized this after the fact, but he's also giving her a 20% crit damage bonus, but the only person he's buffing in this team with Archaic Petra is Xiangling. If you have any of the 5-star options, which are, Xilonen, Chiori, Albedo, Zhongli, basically all of them are going to outdo Gorou in this team, but I still think he's good enough to consider using. Where'd it go? There it is.
Everybody stand back! Into the fire!
I forgot to burst. I don't play Navia very much. Okay. Oh, hey.
Press the advantage! Charge!
God damn.
This one's got your name on it! Watch out!
Yeah, screw it. Well, this is obviously lower damage than Xilonen because she can buff everybody and shred resistance. It might be a tiny bit more comfortable because Archaic Petra doesn't require that you be the one triggering the reaction, just that you be the one picking up the shard. This is like the most scuffed Navia team of all time. I love it. She starts off the rotation. It's just what I keep forgetting. Please. Let me back in the circle. I'm definitely feeling Gorou's stunning lack of energy generation. I knew that was a problem. I didn't think it would be this much of a problem. My Navia, I'm on 125. Maybe that's my fault. Maybe I should get a little bit more. All right, maybe now I will try a team that is actually supposed to do reactions. I've been doing a lot of mono teams because obviously mono teams benefit the most from Archaic Petra. It can only buff one element at a time. To me, it just feels like a waste to do something like Electrocharge Gorou. Electrocharge Gorou. And Electrocharge doesn't need extra defense. We have Beidou and Xingqiu. You know what? Do you know what? I think I've truly lost it now. I think it is truly over for me. I should be put in a mental hospital. This is either going to be the most scuffed team that I've showed off today or the least scuffed, and I'm not gonna know until I actually test it. This is an Ayaka Freeze team that has slotted in Gorou as a combination defensive unit, offensive buffer, and shatter trigger. There are a million ways for this to go wrong, and I can't wait to see them all happen. And I guess, oh yeah, he can apply more cryo.
Rally!
Oh my god, this is ridiculous. I'm trying that again. I'm gonna see if I can one rotate that. I definitely think I can. This is a domain, so like, what can't one rotate a domain? But this will be hilarious if it works. All right, okay. I've tried it out a few times and it's surprisingly not scuffed. So let me explain what's going on here. Pretty normal freeze team for the most part. Ayaka, Kazuha, Kokomi probably don't need explaining how these guys work together. Gorou, in this team, on Archaic Petra, he does the things that he was doing in all the other teams, but his burst does recurring Geo damage. If a frozen enemy takes Geo damage, that triggers Shatter. So in this team, we kind of get to double dip into what his EM is doing. It's increasing the strength of his shield and the damage of his shatters. The only reason that this works is because my Ayaka isn't actually on Blizzard Strayer. If she was, you would need to keep the enemies frozen to get the full 40% crit rate, but Emblem is still a pretty good damaging set on her, and it gives you the freedom to play her in not freeze teams. It's not the best Ayaka freeze team by any means, but it is hilarious. It's also fun that you get to use Gorou and Kokomi in the same team. I can't imagine another situation where you could do that. Boom. Oh, Jesus, what? 10,000? I'm getting 11,000 damage shatters with this. The Abyss is resetting in a few days, and the next cycle is all freezable, so you know what I'm doing.
With wind and cloud. All in. Press the advantage.
Embrace the ice. My apologies. Yeah.
What? I just one-rotated it. This is so funny. Oh my god, I don't know if I'm ever gonna get over this. What are some good domains to kill things in? I guess I could also check the Sumeru domain, but their HP is not gonna be very high at all. Oh, no. I'm gonna fight against, Bronzelock. Bronzelock? Is that really his name? Nuzlocke Pokemon? Yes, it is Bronzelock. Nuzlocke with Bronzor. Oh, because I can't keep a cryo aura on him. I thought the rain would make it easier because I could keep him frozen, but I guess he just has a short frozen timer. Alright, well, didn't die, so who cares?
Charge! Rally!
Hold the line. Sakura swirl. My apologies.
Alright, well, I didn't get the right crystallize off. That's something that is prone to happening to this team if you have an enemy that can't be frozen for very long, like this guy. So in sustained rotations, we're having the same energy issues that we did with all the other Gorou teams, except the Shilonen ones. Oh, alright. See ya, Gorou. I guess that's a good note to end off on. There's Archaic Petra Gorou. He's not a great unit or anything, but he worked out a lot better than I expected him to. I expected I might have to wait a little bit after bursting for him to pick up crystals, but I saw that I was pretty much always able to skill burst and immediately swap out and still get the Petra buff. His energy recharge issues turned out to be a lot bigger than I expected them to be, but if you can manage to meet his energy requirements, I found that he's weirdly versatile, which is something I never thought I'd say about Gorou. Mr. Mono Geo himself. All things considered, he's still a pretty underwhelming unit. He gets outdone by other Geo units in nearly every aspect, but he's turned out to be a pretty compelling option for people who maybe don't have those other Geo units. I've got more goofy stuff like this coming in the future, so if you liked it, you can leave a like. If you want to see more of it, you can subscribe, and I hope y'all have a lovely day.